Hi Leo and Leo Rising, this is your November 2016 forecast. So November has a great balance in store for you. You'll be having lots of opportunities for recreation, pursuing hobbies and mental stimulation, but at the same time you'll be fulfilling your professional work responsibilities and personal duties and obligations with a lot of finesse. So let's look at what the month has in store for you. So on the 30th of October, the new moon is in your 4th house with the sun. So this new moon shows a lot of promise in terms of pursuing actively goals and communicating goals. It helps you take the initiative in your affairs. Your thinking is incisive and clear. And you're also stimulated creatively and imaginatively. So if you need to sell yourself or your ideas, this is a very effective platform for that. And those waxing moon energies will be running until the middle of the month. So until the 22nd of November, the sun is going to be in your 4th house. And the sun in the 4th is very rooted and grounded. It's very inward focused on family and those closest to you. So, there's a lot of attention to soul searching. There's a lot of getting rooted and nested and, focus on the home. So for some people, this comes out as home decoration, renovation, or even purchasing property. And for other people, it just means a little bit more of an inward focus, connecting with people close to you. Your mind tends to drift a little bit more to the past. So, you're looking at childhood memories and the way that you were brought up and trying to use these things to make sense of your current behavior and where you are in the world. So the sun in the 4th is very foundation building. You want to be rooted, established, and secure to know who you are so that you can be more effective in the outer world. So let's see what else is happening. So on the 7th of November, the sun is sextiling Pluto between your 4th and your 6th houses. And this is a great aspect for, making changes, clearing the decks. So if there have been tensions simmering either at work or at home, then this is a chance to make a clean sweep. You'll have a lot of insight. The sun is going to illuminate exactly what those troubling areas are, and you're going to be able to resolve those tensions with relative ease. So, this is in line with the sun in the 4th. Like I said, just clearing the decks and, making changes so that you can be a little bit more effective and resolving conflicts and issues that come up at this time. So some of those conflicts and issues could be with family members, but it's not so much necessarily conflict as it is a chance to, settle the score. If you need to make peace with someone, this is a good time to do it within the family. So to connect and really bond with those people close to you in your family. So on the 14th of November, there's a full moon, and this full moon is going to be in your 10th house. So the 10th house, the sun will be in your 4th and the moon will be in your 10th. So the opposition here is really between home and family life and your personal domain and career, profession, where you go in the outside world to seek recognition. So because full moons are often a culminating point and, can tend to focus very strongly on relationships, it's really the balance between your personal and professional life and how are you managing that kind of yin-yang relationship? Are you managing to find balance in terms of being grounded, rooted, and connected, and also efficient in the world and being seen and recognized for your unique talents and abilities? So on the 22nd, Mercury is sextiling Jupiter, and the following day, Mercury is conjuncting Saturn. So this is, going to show like big picture thinking. Mercury and Jupiter work very well together in terms of, focusing on the bigger scheme, so you can see where all the pieces of the puzzle fit together, but Mercury is also very detail orientated. And the conjunction between Mercury and Saturn will really cement that. Mercury and Saturn together, there's lots of clear thinking, logic, and precision. So it's the best of both worlds. You're able to see how things fit together, take cognizance of all the facts and, like I said, puzzle pieces. But at the same time, you can focus in on details. Your thinking is clear, very rigorous. So this is good for drawing up contracts and, getting things onto paper, attending to all the details. But the Jupiter sextiling Mercury is going to really help you see the big picture, open contracts and negotiations. It's very good for business talks, business contracts. So on the 22nd and the 23rd, these are really good days for business and getting your affairs in order. So there's paperwork involved, you can attend to them. If there are discussions and negotiations that you need to open and broach, then also an excellent time for that. So on the 24th, Jupiter is squaring Pluto between your 3rd and your 6th houses. So this is a very strong aspect in the sky at the moment, and it seems to be very central to the American elections, but in our personal capacity as it touches us, it shows where we're striving towards power. And for you, the 3rd and the 6th houses relate to work and daily affairs, and so there could be some self-mastery in these areas. You could be refining procedures and techniques to make your work more efficient and effective, refining communications. You could be selling yourself more effectively and trying to really, be superb at what you do. So look for where you can attain self-mastery and power in your personal life and capacity. So on the 25th of November, Venus is conjuncting Pluto in your 6th house. So Venus in the 6th is very good, generally speaking, for office relations and for, ingratiating yourself with colleagues, co-workers, and superiors. So Jupiter and Pluto in the 6th can be very good for intensifying relationships, for really feeling connected to other people. For some people, Venus in the 6th could mean a love relationship at work, and if this is the case, this contact could really intensify that. It can make some people quite jealous and possessive, so you may need to watch out for that, but generally speaking, it can be really good for deepening connections to people that you work with. And like I said, for very few of you, perhaps an office romance. So on the 26th, Mercury is trining Uranus from your 5th to your 9th houses. So Mercury and Uranus, very electric contact. Your mind is feeling alive, vital, and active. So if you need to do problem solving, then this is very good for seeing your way around a problem that's been eluding you or other people. So you're feeling very mentally awake. You're a bit bored with staid usual techniques and so on, so no wonder you are able to find a better solution by thinking outside of the box. So on the 29th of November, there's a new moon, and this is going to be in your 5th house. So the moon will be joining the sun in the last week of the month in your 5th house. And this is really where the sun has its joy. So the sun in the 5th is really about recreation, amusement, entertainment. It connects you with children and playful activities. It has you being yourself, and people are responding to you for who you are. So, a lot of good times coming up at the end of the month, but also a little bit before, which I'll get into in a moment. So this new moon has got some troubling aspects to Neptune though, so this is just something to be aware of, because the 5th house is also the house of speculative, risky investments, and Neptune is in your 8th house, so this wouldn't be a good time to make an investment. Your thinking won't be as clear as it has been earlier in the month, and people could be misrepresenting themselves, or something that you want to invest in or involve yourself with financially could seem better than it is, and perhaps people are selling it as something more that isn't really going to deliver, practically speaking. So Neptune can be a bit vague in terms of the reality and practical details, so wait for the fog to lift and don't make any speculative ventures or financial risks at this time. Okay, but let's backtrack a little and look at what else is happening this month. Venus is going to be in your 5th house in the first half of the month. So this is the best house for starting love relationships. So Venus in the 5th, it's really favors relationships that are fun, and it's also very good for any kind of personal recreation and entertainment. If you're not creative yourself, because this is a very creative placement for Venus, then go to art exhibitions, concerts, performances, and enjoy those sorts of Venusian expressions. So Venus, of course, is luxury, so it's wining and dining. So the first half of the month, lots of potential for romantic interests, and you'll be favoring relationships that are fun. So this is very good for blossoming romances or for completely new romances. And if you're in a committed relationship, to inject fun and passion and play into things again. So in the second half of the month, Venus will be moving into your 6th house. And like I said, Venus is going to be very good for office relationships, Not romantic, only for a few of you, but overall it's going to help you get along better with your colleagues, get along, with superiors, make a good impression. If problems arise, you'll be able to smooth over them easily. And Mars, which has been in your sixth house throughout October and working very efficiently and very hard. So a lot of you have been making some considerable progress and gains strategically in your work and professional environments. So Mars has been very industrious in the sixth, and from the 9th of November it's moving into your seventh house. So again, this could really be good for electric passion. Mars is an energized planet. Venus tends to be passive and things can just come to you, so you don't have to make too much of an effort, but Mars is taking the initiative. And the seventh house is the house of partnerships, all significant one-on-one interactions, so it can show up in consulting as well. But Mars here, has a lot of energy, so you may be finding conflicts are coming up within partnerships, so you're airing grievances and you're trying to resolve things. But Mars wants to work through the seventh house energies of partnerships. So try and find common goals and align your interests with other people. And, physical energy is favored. So physical activities or physically working things out or just buckling down and doing the work that needs to be done can help you with those frustrated ego energies of Mars. So Mercury will be moving from the fourth to the fifth house. So in the beginning of the month, the first half of November, Mercury is very good for those conversations with family members, connecting and really having deep discussions, possibly with your parents. And in the second half of the month, Mercury will be in your fifth house. So here the focus is on mental stimulation, games. You're looking for things that are going to occupy and stimulate your mind. And if you're involved with children, creative self-expression and games with them. And if it's a romance, then it's going to help you communicate, of course, very effectively. Light, lively, fun communications are indicated by this. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this forecast, and please like and subscribe if you have. You can also visit my website www.psyche.co.za if you want to book a personal reading or read more about the new and the full moons this month. Thank you for listening.